Yes, we're back after long delay. I know you've been waiting for the new episodes.
Where are they?
As it's our 4th episode, we thought we'd do Fantastic Four.
Oh boy.
After the success of Tim Burton's Batman, studios started buying up comic book properties like crazy. And as the special effects weren't up to scratch, they turned to Roger Corman to produce a film they never intended on releasing. Roger Corman, of course, was famous for making exploitation films and making films on the cheap. The sad part about this is that the cast and crew all thought this film was going to get released. The studio did this to maintain the rights. That's why every 10 years you see a new Fantastic Four film. Clever chap Reed Richards and Victor Doom tried to harness the power of the comet Colossus. Shit goes loco and Doom is presumed dead. Cut to 10 years later, and Reed is planning another space trip with his best mate Ben Grimm and the now grown-up Storm Children. Shit goes loco in space, and all four are transformed with new powers. Meanwhile, Ben bumps into a blind woman once, and she becomes obsessed with him. Local villain, the Jeweler, kidnaps the blind woman and forces her to be the queen of the sewer people, which basically consists of out-of-work dancers. Victor reappears as Dr. Doom, and he wants to steal the Fantastic Four's powers and whatnot, and they duke it out, and many fights ensue. Every iteration of Fantastic Four has tried to change the origin a little bit.
Yeah.
And this one's no exception. Only this sets up a much darker premise in the idea that was Reed Richards grooming the Storms?
Oh, yeah. What was going on there?
Because basically...
No, because what is his connection to that family? I didn't pick it up.
Well, he's living in their boarding house, and he's a student. So he's renting a room. But basically, he is a full-on adult. There is a girl who's Harmony from Buffy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. She is like, what, maybe 15?
Maybe. Like, but that's being generous.
And she's
that's
like,
being
he's
hopeful.
a dreamboat. Yeah, that was the whole Dr. Reed Richards paedophile.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was a bit dark.
Hello, Susan.
Nice and sexist. They brought back that from the 50s comic as well.
Yeah.
Sue had about 3 lines, amounting to probably about 7 words.
Most of them were I love you.
Something like that, yeah.
My big thing about Ben Grimm was basically he's Dom Toretto from the Fast and Furious series in this.
You don't turn your back on family.
Johnny
is on the spectrum.
He is probably the worst actor in this entire movie. And that's
stop.
this is a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's like he earns it. Like,
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Sit down, Johnny.
So, Leprechaun or Mole Man, whichever, same thing.
Danny DeVito.
Okay, so Danny, we're going to start calling
Danny
him
Trejo.
Danny Trejo. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So you have the jeweler who's basically Mole Man. And Mole Man is like a Fantastic Four character. But I was like, why didn't you just make him Mole Man? I mean, like, why did you have to create the jeweler? I actually thought this was the best Doctor Doom.
No, me too. He looked great.
He looked the most like Doctor Doom. But they've played him in every film all the same. He's just an arrogant dickhead who's just too full of himself and too obsessed with being better that he just makes all the wrong mistakes. And that is literally his character in every single film. His whole thing was, you can't see my face, so obviously, like wearing masks, a lot of people, they act with their body, but he fucking went to town with his hands. He was literally fiddling someone in the air with his hands. Also, Doom was obsessed with touching faces. That was a really funny. At first, it was kind of cool because it was like, is he like going to break the guy's face? Yeah, but then like later on, he's just touching people's faces like a weirdo. As a villain, he always seemed to be like laughing at his own joke. Is Doom like totally? Is he been so isolated? That he has literally no social skills, and he's like
touching faces.
But he thinks he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
he probably thinks that the Fantastic Four like him, and then he's like, "Yeah, man, you should have seen earlier. I was killing it." The Fantastic Four are about to escape. Doom says not so fast and releases all his henchmen.
And then he walks away.
There's a huge battle ensues. All this gunfire goes off. The Fantastic Four beat all the guys.
They
escape.
break through the wall,
They
like
break through
smash
the wall
through
and
and
it's-
explode it.
Yeah, and
They get away,
they
then it's
get
dead.
away, and then it goes real silent.
And then he
And then
saunters in. Cock of the walk.
But he
What?
comes back in like he forgot to tell the end of a joke.
Yeah.
So, my friend.
The weirdest moment happens between Mrs. Storm and Ben Grimm.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
It's
It was
so
kind of like a
strange.
don't let strangers into your house type situation.
Ah.
And I got the impression they fucked.
Yeah,
They fucked.
something was going
Definitely
on between
they
the
had-
two of them. Definitely something going on
It
there.
made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I think even Reed Richards is looking at like, what's going on here?
You two banging?
Mrs. Storm, I've written down in my notes, old woman knows. Does she know what's going to happen to them? Because she says,
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
walk out and she goes, really like a sort of premonition style, you're the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then she has a weird look. And it's like, do you fucking know what's going to happen? Like, do you know that they're going to their possible deaths? If I was one of them, I'd be like, get the pliers. We're going to interrogate this
Yeah,
one.
let's waterboard this bitch.
Abominations from the Vault. We recommend bad movies every Wednesday. The most popular one we'll remake into a Swede.
Did you think the outstretched hands of Reed out of the limo was horrifying?
Yes.
That was scary.